Thaddeus Ross does not completely suck. Let's jump in.
Okay, first off, I don't have shell shock. F you. Second, this is what I'm talking about. This is being a soldier.
How's it going, folks? Welcome back to the Snap Academy. I'm Muse. Today, we are jumping into our newest card, Thaddeus Thunderbolt Ross. TTR is a 2/2 with the ability, when your opponent ends a turn with unspent energy, you may draw a card from your deck with 10 or more power. As we were kind of speculating beforehand with Mr. TTR, Thaddeus Thunderbolt Ross, that is a name, and Thaddeus's parents did not love him enough. I have mixed feelings on Mr. TTR. So you're drawing a card, obviously, that's very powerful in all card games in general. But I think that everyone was really focused on kind of the Surtur side of things. Get Scar, get all of your big power boys, have a lot of options. And this deck that we're going to play, it's a Naut deck. I really like it in a kind of different version. So the way I was really building around him, and some folks as well as I was kind of seeing on ladder, is kind of grabbing those combo pieces that you need. So with our She-Hulk deck, we want She-Hulk, we want Infinite. We only need 2 draws. We're not needing anything more than that. And if we start the game with those 2 cards, we don't need to play TTR. And that's kind of another way I saw him being played in Hella decks, you know, kind of getting those 6-drop cards, that 8-drop cards, so you have fodder in order to, you know, get discard value, thin your deck, and being able to play Hella. I think that's another great version of TTR and a great use for it to kind of get that engine going a little bit quicker. I don't want to rely on him to, you know, get a whole bunch of cards. I want to use TTR to get a couple cards that I really need and help thin the deck. So that's the way I really think that he needs to be used. Not to kind of pull a lot of cards, but to pull a couple cards to get your combo pieces. And I think that's what's really doing it for me. I really like what he does. I don't need him to draw 6 cards. I need him to draw 1 or 2 cards. And with that, I'm going to give him like a 4-star. This is a very controversial 4-star. I think when I did my preview, I gave him like 2 or 3, and it was like a strong 2, minimum 3. I think that there is a place for him, especially as we get some of these bigger pieces as well, and maybe during OTAs if something else pops up to 10. But I really liked being able to just pull those 2 cards I needed. If I had one, grab the other one so that I could set up my last turn combo with the Infinite. And what I saw on Hella decks, when they were grabbing those couple cards, thinning it out, and being able to draw Hella more reliably on that turn 6. I think this is a 5-star Hella card. I think this is going to make it probably in every single Hella deck, and possibly also in the She-Not build. So it's definitely got a couple decks, and I think it's kind of a must include in those decks, which is why I'm kind of bolstering it up to that 4-star kind of feel, because he's not built around, but he makes it way more consistent for winning, and I think that's going to be very valuable in the future. So we're actually going to go from top to bottom this time, starting with the Infinite and She-Hulk. These are what we're really building towards in this deck. The old dirty 30. We want to drop an Infinite, drop a She-Hulk on turn 7. We're going to be using magic for that, and we can also use Psylocke. We could do a Psylocke on turn 4. That way we have 6 energy on turn 5. If we don't get the magic out, we have 2 different plays for this. Cannonball, I really just like in the deck as another way to kind of proc Surtur if we have a Galacta out, or just kind of clear some things up if they do have a lot going on. It's kind of another Shang-Chi. Galacta, great card. We're just adding a little bit more power across the board. And then Moon Girl. Moon Girl I've been putting in and out of this deck probably for the last 2 years, just because I don't know if I found a home for her. But knowing now that I have Thaddeus, that I can get that She-Hulk a little bit more reliably, helps me kind of play around that a little bit more, especially if I, you know, start with a She-Hulk and I know that I can grab that Infinite later. That is something that I did do, where I had the 2 She-Hulks already, hit the Moon Girl, and then the Thaddeus actually drew me the Infinite on turn 5 so that I had a full hand. We were good to go. It was awesome. It did exactly what it needed to do. And Moon Girl is a little bit more reliable now that we can more reliably get our entire package going. Shang-Chi, it might sound a little weird using Shang-Chi in this deck, but I do like being able to flip, especially if you don't get that magic on, turn 3, 4, or 5. You don't have that extra turn 7. Shang-Chi plus She-Hulk is very powerful. Only playing a 2-drop on turn 4, maybe that's Psylocke, getting that little bit of extra energy, playing that She-Hulk, Shang-Chi, maybe even a Sunspot. It's a little awkward, but sometimes you can just flip that lane and get the She-Hulk, especially if you do have Galacta in another lane, to flip that. That's 13, 16 power, including Galacta. That can win you some games. It's not guaranteed, but I found more times than not that I really did want to use Shang-Chi on turn 6 if I couldn't get the full Dirty 30 going. Surtur, doing Surtur stuff. We've got a couple big beatdowns. We really just need to get him to a 310, just a little bit more power. We can get him to a 313 with double She-Hulk, and he just scales up really nicely on that last turn. Ideally, we're not going to have priority, so we don't have to necessarily worry about Shang-Chi, but in the off chance that we do, we've got the Kira, I have no idea how to say her name. But to kind of protect that Sunspot as well as our big She-Hulk and Infinite on the last turn as well. Altogether, I had a great time with this deck. This is one of my favorite decks. It actually did help me get Infinite when Thaddeus released. I was a little bit behind. I found it very hard to get cubes, but I dropped in Thaddeus into my She-Not deck and went positive. We did the 13 cubes to get us to that kind of over the hump and went on a 65% win rate. That was really good for what we were doing, and it got me to Infinite, which was awesome. So again, this is one of my favorite decks, one of my favorite builds, and Thaddeus definitely makes the cut. He's not 15 of 12. I think that he might be 3 right after Infinite and She-Hulk, 4 after Sunspot as well, but definitely great. I don't think that this is a must-have card, however. I think if you absolutely love She-Not, this is a must-have card. But to just kind of have in your collection laying around, maybe possibly have it, I don't think you necessarily absolutely need to get Thaddeus. I don't. So, with that being said, go ahead and grab the deck list from below and follow along as we jump into the pilots. All right, so jumping into the pilots. Again, what we want to do is kind of set everything up. We want to clear our hand out as much as possible, so that way if we do get the Moon Girl, we can Moon Girl pretty easily on that She-Hulk. Sunspot down first, love that. I don't know if I want to play on top of it yet, on top of that Onslaught Citadel, just in case they do have some ongoings going on. So we'll just start with the Sunspot, hope for the best. Lots of hoping. It'd be great if we got a Thaddeus turn 2. That way we can not necessarily guarantee, you are playing into hoping, again, lots of hope in this deck, that they float an energy so that you can draw, but they float energy, you draw a card. It's a great payoff. And it does happen more often than you think. Scorn turn 1? Arishem deck, makes sense. So we do have Death's Domain here, which is great for us because we can scale into that. So unless they have a Shang, we should be pretty good there. All right, turn. I do really want to do the Moon Girl here. So I do want that little bit of extra energy. All right, so we do now have magic, which I really like. So I'm thinking I'm going to play, how do they get Thaddeus? Magic on top of Psylocke. That way we can possibly get our Thaddeus, but also Moon Girl a little bit easier. Gwenpool. do have one more turn to set up. And we don't get anything we really want. So we're gonna Moon Girl here. That way we can get our She-Hulk double up and then hopefully draw into our Infinite. Hopefully. Maximus kind of actually screwed me.
I'm about to juice this up.
So I need to do... So this did screw me a little bit here. I don't want to do a full soak because I can play, what, 6? So I can play 4 energy here, so probably Galacta, honestly. Galacta or Kyra? Yeah, Galacta. No, because that's... I can play 2 energy here. So... if I do that... because if I do that, that gets me 4, so they both cost 2. We can go 2-2. I can go 2-2 plus another one here. Have 4 in the mid. You got a lot of power with that. So they're going full Arishem. Hopefully that's my Infinite. Nice. Thank you, Infi. Appreciate you lots. So this is a pretty dangerous place to be because they can Shang me. I've got priority, so what I think I want to do here is Kyra into She-Hulk. That way, our Sunspot can't get shanged, our Infinite can't get shanged, our She-Hulk can't get shanged, and that's really all I can do. So yeah, that's what we're gonna send. That is what we're gonna send. The Gladiator really helped get our Infinite down, get a little bit more extra power. That Kyra is going to protect us from Shang-Chi, which they may have. And boom!
Power must be controlled. Minions to me.
Clutch play. Let's go.
Victory!
All right, so into this one, we are starting with our Thaddeus, which is fantastic because we don't have any of our other cards yet. So let's get Thaddeus onto Asgard. Okay, we're getting to draw all kinds of cards. Yep, Thaddeus on the Asgard. That way we can start pulling into our other cards, thin our deck a little bit. The house is fine. We just had a party, and it's not a stream now. It's a YouTube video. We're recording. All right. Well, I guess I'll do Galacta now. We do have our Infinites, luckily. I don't actually want to blow that up. The Negasonics kind of throw me off here. So I might actually just Kyra into Sunspot. That way, we do have a safe Infinite here. Frame break. That's what that was. About an hour ago. Crossbones. I think we should be good with the Crossbones here and Galacta. So they get to draw, which is fine. We do have our She-Hulk. So Thaddeus did nothing, unfortunately, but we still get the benefit of it. I want the power here. I don't want to fall into the Walking Torres, so I don't want to walk into a double. They're kind of more melee, so they may not have Rocket Raccoon. We do have everything. I'm actually going to snap here. I do feel good about it. I don't think they're going to play anything else into Asgard. Misery. Okay, so just more Yondu stuff. That's fine. We have all of our key pieces already. And then we will full soak. So we get 6 on the Sunspot. I think Infinite will do fine left. I don't necessarily think I need to add Galacta, so we'll do She-Hulk right with the Galactus to give 13, and then Infinite left. Okay, so what I might do here now, what do they got? Moon Girl is their best bet over there. So I'm actually going to go Infinite left onto She-Hulk. And then that should be fine. We're doing 10 power here, 23 left. They're probably just going to play for mid-right. Yep.
I'm about to juice this up.
Null, 14.
Hello! So happy!
28, let's go.
Victory!
So yeah, overall, Infinite, huge power. They were not expecting that whatsoever. The She-Hulk just kind of went over the top here. I was not expecting a null. That was kind of crazy. It was only 14 power, but we did beef up here pretty well. She-Hulk right wouldn't have done anything. I have found with this deck, you really can't go too wide. You should really commit to just 2 lanes. Sometimes with Sunspot out and having 2 She-Hulks, you can do some crazy stuff and maybe go all 3, but usually going 2 works pretty well. All right, so we're starting with Thaddeus, which is great here. On reveal effects happen twice isn't necessary. So we do have a She-Hulk, so we really just need to pull our Infinite. So we just need to get 1 pull on Thaddeus and we're good to go. Huh, this is something. I don't need 2 Thaddeus's, so I'm not going to try it. They did get 2 Captain Americas, so that kind of sucks because they can bounce pretty easily. They've got really good scaling, especially if they drop regular Captain America next turn. Double Surtur, great for us. So we also have great scaling now. And if we get the magic, or turn 4, I might just drop Psylocke. Do Psylocke She-Hulk maybe? Or Psylocke Moonstone? Or Moon Girl, not Moonstone. Armor. Okay. So they get a 6 drop there. Gore, not the end of the world. And we did get our Infinite, so we're in a great spot here. We get double Infinite, double She-Hulk, so I'm really not worried about anything. So we can just hit the Psylocke now. Have free She-Hulk, free Infinite next turn. Unfortunately, we don't have the Soak, but we don't need magic. One Doom, I think we can outscale 1 Doom because they're going to fill up pretty quickly. I don't think that they can outscale 60 power on turn 6. And we do have magic now if we wanted to go that route, but we don't, and I don't want to give them any more on reveals for that gore, so we're just going to full soak. I'm very okay with that Cosmo. I don't know what they thought that I was going to do, but we don't have priority, so we're not worried about them shanking us. Their entire lanes are full. We go She-Hulk, we go Infinite, Surtur procs, and we have a bunch of power everywhere. Let's do it.
Can you understand me?
Just lots of power everywhere. She-Hulk, Infinite, Sinister London is one of my favorite locations to play here. Because no one ever plays She-Not anymore. Maybe not after this video, but Primo, absolutely great. All right, so we're actually starting pretty strong here. We have our Sunspot, we have a Magic, we have a She-Hulk, we have an Infinite. This is actually the entire package we need. I'm going to snap. I'm pretty sure that they don't have a Killmonger, so I'm not worried about... I almost completely flubbed that. I'm not worried about them killing my Sunspot. That does suck with Sokovia. That really sucks with Sokovia. Maybe we can still do it. We don't need Thaddeus anymore.
Spider-Man here.
What is this deck? Must be a Scream deck. I've seen a lot of Scream decks running Captain America Shield. I think it's a little weird. Not the biggest fan. I might just leave Rickety Bridge here. And then I can play Kyra. So I think I do want that turn 7 to kind of set some things up. Since I have to Infinite, I'll probably Infinite right here. And I can get that full soak still. So we're gonna go Kyra, probably now. I don't necessarily need to Moon Girl anymore. There's nothing that I can do here. So we're just gonna Kyra, do a little soak. Nothing crazy. Sokovia really hurt everything that I was trying to accomplish here. But after that, I might just soak up the Sunspot a lot and just get all of my power into that. Massive. Calculated. So now we have Rickety Bridge. We don't really need to do anything else. Maybe play Cannonball. So I think that I'm just going to let this sit and just full soak on Sunspot. That way I can make a decision on where I want to put the Infinite.
Hello!
This is a meme. Literally not playing 2 turns.
We are the future.
So I'm thinking I want to play, 26 here. It's pretty even, so that's only 20. So we're gonna go 26 here, get 1 more soak. They have priority. They need to do 10 power mid in order to tie, which is possible with this deck. Not sure if they do necessarily have it already. Probably not, actually. Sandman, not enough.
Hello! So happy!
And that is another playline. Just soak into your Sunspot, let it kind of solo a lane. We knew that we were going to get Rickety Bridge. They couldn't play anything into it. And Infinite just wins lanes by himself. They got pretty close here, but at the end of the day, Infinite is just a lot of power. All right, so we don't have the greatest start right now. We do have a Moon Girl, so I don't know the right play right now. Because I don't want to necessarily Psylocke into a Moon Girl unless I have She-Hulk in my hands. Squirrels kind of suck. Well, we do have Thaddeus. Okay, so Thaddeus might help us out a little bit. That was a great pull. They only did a Hydra Bob, so we are actually going to grab one of our cards. Hopefully it's a She-Hulk. We got the She-Hulk. Very nice. So now what I want to do here is kind of clear out my hands so that I can. It's an easier Moon Girl onto the She-Hulk. We did draw a little bit, which kind of sucks. So they're doing Marvel Boy stuff. No, they're not. How do they do Marvel Boy stuff with an Arishem deck? That's kind of crazy. Ebony Moss, they can't play there anymore. So now we know how much we need. Moon Girl's out of the question now, unfortunately. Or I think I'm actually going to play Magic here. That way I do get a little bit more. Another chance to get our Infinite. Brood, that's fine. So now we know how much we need to win. I'm actually going to snap here. They're doing their bestest, but their bestest is not enough. And I don't think that was, yeah, that was not a full usage. So we do have our entire package now. And then turn 5, I'm just going to Galacta. And then we have options. I can do a full soak on 6. That's great. I appreciate everything about that except for the Infinite. But I think it's just turn 6. And I'm going to full soak anyway. So normally, actually, we'd want to soak here. But it's kind of 2 energy, 2 power. I might save it, honestly, because I know like 29 should win here for sure. Is it what is it? Remove the text from 6 cost cards in your opponent's hand. Oh, it's just all. Oh, okay, so yeah, we want to play the Infinite now. I haven't seen a Legion. I don't know how long. We'll just go here, and then.
Hello! Can you understand me?
Okay, so hopefully they don't have a Shang. Otherwise, that'd be very unfortunate. Let's just blow this out. That's actually a little bit more power. And that is also a little bit more power. I don't think that they would have a Shang in this deck. Sentry? No. And blow it up. Boom. And that's why I've got the Cannonball in the deck for when decks try to do this. And fill up just way too quickly. Easy peasy. Beautiful.
Victory.
8-cuber too. Didn't even realize that. So yeah, we got a little 8-cuber there. That is why I do have the Cannonball. Just for that quick pivot. We don't use him all the time, but it's super useful. And, you know, again, with that Moon Girl, we didn't get to use it during the pilot. I did do it a couple times on stream, but it is probably your most cuttable card if you want to add another tech card, Red Guardian, something along the lines. Moon Girl is definitely going to be your first cut. And then after that, maybe Cannonball for a different tech card, but I think the Moon Girl's the most cuttable. Everything else you really need in the deck to really make it work. If you don't have Surtur, maybe something else. We do have another video kind of with the same deck and a different kind of build, more control build. You can check that out, but let's conclude everything. So like I said, kind of in recap, I don't think Thaddeus is a card that you necessarily need to, you know, must go get. But if you know you don't have Nebula, if you don't have Blink, definitely worth your spotlights. If you have a few extra, I think it's great for that, but I would not spend tokens currently at this time to get him. The deck's super fun. It got me to Infinite. It's one of my favorites. Hopefully you can get to Infinite this season with it as well, or one of our other decks. If you enjoy these deck highlights, deck techs, or just want to chit chat, make sure that you snap those subscribe and like buttons. That way you know every time that we go live on YouTube as we, you know, build these decks every Tuesday with the community, just kind of figuring out what we're going to do. And it was really great to kind of get to Infinite and everybody cheer there. So that was a great feeling. Thank you all for being there. So until next time, happy snapping.